Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone on YouTube and the NRL community. 153 days have passed since the dawn of Season 5. The wait is finally over. The lights are about to go out, and a brand new chapter in Sim Motorsport is about to begin. Welcome, race fans, to Season 6 of the NRL. Over the past 5 seasons, we've witnessed breathtaking overtakes, crushing defeats, last lap heroics, and champions forged. But now, the slate is wiped clean, and every driver on the grid has one goal: to etch their name into NRL history. This season brings more intensity, more strategy, and more drama than ever before. Precision will matter, consistency will be tested, and rivalries will ignite. Any mistake could mean the difference between heartache and glory. Across legendary circuits and iconic machines, the world's best racers are ready to push their cars to their absolute limits. From nail-biting qualifying laps to wheel-to-wheel battles at 200 miles an hour, this is where passion meets performance. So sit tight, buckle up, and get ready for a season that promises unforgettable moments on every corner, every lap, and every race. This is not just a game, this is motorsport at its purest. This is NRL Season 6. And rolling on, as per usual, is your Saturday Dream Team. I am your main host, Flawed Genius Gaming, and I'll be joining me in the booth once again are the two voices you know and love. Firstly, we have TK's with his razor-sharp attention to detail, breaking down the fine margins, but with the still down-to-earth racer everyone can relate to. Welcome in, my friend, and good to see you. How have you been, TK's?
Oh, Flawed, I am doing great. It is so great to be back. I can't believe Season 6 is upon us. And from what we saw last night, I am super pumped for what we're going to see here today. How are you doing, sir?
I am very, very well, but very nervous and very excited in what's ahead for today. And certainly, lastly and certainly not least, we have Tatty, a true NRL mainstay with their pro knowledge and of all circuits and the car dynamics and everything that makes racing at this level tick. How are you, my friend? And are you looking forward to this season, Tatty?
Good, Flawed. Good to hear from you. Good to be in the booth again with you and TK's, of course. I'm super excited about this season, as I have been the last two. Glad to hear I'm an NRL mainstay now. I made it.
Yeah, I think you have made it. I'm sure chat will agree too, and it's awesome to have you back alongside us, Tatty.
Thank you.
So with a brand new season comes new challenges, drivers, and also new sponsors joining our existing lineup. Without their support of our amazing sponsors, none of this would be possible. So firstly, we are delighted to introduce to you our new sponsor to the NRL. Dumb Guys Do Racing. This high-octane weekly podcast is where 4 drivers from the PDX Sim team take you inside the world of motorsport and sim racing. From breaking news to heated debates, wild stories to pro tips, these guys cover it all with passion, humour, and just the right amount of chaos. For your podcast fix, these are available on all platforms with new weekly episodes dropped every Monday. Also, welcoming back our sponsor from last season is Henke's Tavern in the beautiful Old Town Florissant, St. Louis. Whether you're a local or just passing through, Henke's is the place with unbeatable food, cold drinks, and a patio, perfect for catching the NRL in action. Just ask our Toon and Slow-Mo, they'll vouch for it. So grab some friends, head to Henke's, and tell them the NRL sent you. Open until 1 a.m. because if you ain't first, you're still welcome at Henke's Tavern. We also welcome back Little J CPA, turning streams and side hustles into smart money moves. Whether you're building a small business, growing a brand, or cashing in on streaming income, we'll help you track earnings, maximize deductions, and keep more of what you've worked for. You focus on building, we handle the numbers. The NRL is proud to be sponsored by Lithograph Comics, a true comic book fanatic, historian, and lifelong collector. From epic pickups to rare grails, Lithograph Comics shares the passion and the journey with fans everywhere. Check out his collection and stories, and don't forget to scan the QR code when it pops up to dive into his world. And lastly, we are proud to introduce a writer by day and a Twitch streamer by night. Lawrence Brown, better known as Box, brings you Deep Mist Chronicles trilogy books, a swordsman turned wanderer as he's pulled into an epic struggle that could save or destroy the world. The trilogy is available now on Amazon, in paperback, and on Kindle. And again, once again, thank you so much to our amazing sponsors for the whole of NRL Season 6. Okay, so with the nitty-gritty now out of the way, it's now time to kick off the Saturday half of the draw in the pre-qualifying rounds of the NRL Season 6, split 1 of 3 today. So here are the quali details. So we head over to Spain at the famous F1 circuit of Catalunya in its Grand Prix layout. Track length is 2.8 miles, featuring 13 turns, cutting out the 2 chicanes at the end of the lap. Those participating will be driving the Subaru BRZ GT300 2021 Group 3 car. This 2-litre engine car is turbocharged, producing 478 brake horsepower at 6,700 RPM to its rear wheels. In this front-engine rear-wheel drive car, weighing in at just 1,150 kilos. It's tricky to tame, but rewarding when mastered, and helping them along the way, they get to use the racing soft tyre compounds ahead of this 20-minute pre-qualifier. Balance of power will be enabled with just brake balance to be tinkered on the fly. There will also be a ×3 multiplier applied to both tyre wear and fuel usage, with an initial fuel set at 30 litres, bringing with it perfect track conditions as the weather is set to be sunny. Damage, as per usual, set to heavy for this one. So TKs, can you explain to us the new points format for our pre-qualifying session, please?
Absolutely, Flawed, and very cool that there are points applied to the pre-qualifying. So it's not just to get you into Division A or B, there are also points on the table. And those points are allocated like this. The top third will get 5 points. The middle third will get 3 points. And then the bottom third will get no points. And the points are awarded pre-qualifying day. So for these Saturday pre-qualifiers, top 14 drivers will get into Division A, and then the next 14 will be in Division B. So only 28 drivers will move on to the main portion of the season.
Thank you, T-Case. And Tessie, if you can read us the driver lineup for pre-quali split 1, please.
Yes, no problem. First we have BHR Josh Moment, Island Grown 777, J Senior, K Naranjo, SRP Mr. Racing 40, and VIP Left to Pass You. You know what? There are social media handles on some of these. Island Grown 777 can be found on YouTube at that same exact username. It's at Island Grown 777. K Naranjo is better known as Oak, and he's on Twitch at Oak_R3E. Check out their streams, but do try to keep our tab open so that you can come back to the mainstream and get all of the news that's going on during the qualifying session.
Okay. So a very interesting combo. Of course, we did see the pre-quali action last night, but TK's obviously this is Catalunya, the track that the F1 drivers do the pre-winter testing. It's also a circuit that's been featured on many a GT7 daily race as well. So what are your thoughts on this particular circuit and driving the Subaru BRZ as well? I mean, that's quite a tricky car to drive, right?
Indeed, I personally struggle mightily with this car. I'm not a fan of the BRZ Group 3 car. However, I love Catalunya. There's a reason F1 does testing here. It offers you a little bit of everything. You got some elevation changes. You got high-speed corners, medium speed, low speed. I personally prefer with the chicane, but I am in the minority there. So here, the final 2 turns are crucial to get that super fast straight line speed down the very long straight before you get into turn 1.
Yes, indeed. And Tati as well. I mean, so you're that experienced league driver. So Catalunya certainly is one of them sort of like fan favorites. But what is your opinion of the circuit, and does this really make great racing?
You know what? Catalunya is actually one of my favorite circuits to race at. It's actually really rewarding to lap around, so I was happy to see it as the qualifier circuit. Some circuits are super boring. This one is not. It's so technical. As far as the racing goes, I think it really depends on the cars you're in. I don't think it makes great racing in cars that heavily rely on downforce to get close to, to get their lap times. But if you can get in on this track in cars that are able to get close to one another to really race bumper to bumper and try to dive in and get some passes done, there are some fantastic passing opportunities at this circuit that require bravery and creativity, and it makes it really fun.
Yeah, well, it's a very, as you mentioned, a very technical circuit, and certainly a challenge that is brought to the drivers is the Subaru PRZ, which is a kind of like love it or hate it car, I do believe. Now, in the right hands, this car is an absolute weapon, but if you're not used to it, if you don't respect its power, if you're not the smooth operator, this car can come and bite you on the backside. And we're going to see how these drivers get on with this car. Now, we have got a 20-minute qualifier ahead of us, so you'd like to think with the soft tyres as well that the drivers will get used to the car and hopefully perform at their very, very best. Now, we've only got 5 drivers in this split, for split 1 that is, but one thing I have noticed is that we've got quite a few drivers making their debut in the NRL. So we're on board with BHR Josh Moment. He is making his NRL debut, and it's going to be very exciting to see how the debutants get on here. Will they be able to challenge at the top, or are they kind of like fighting it out in the bottom split? But Josh Bowman is a Beehive racer. TK, you might be able to tell me a little bit about this driver, perhaps?
Absolutely, and I can tell you he is fast. I've been racing with Josh quite a lot over the last 2 weeks. We've been racing together for a long time, but over the last 2 weeks, we've both been participating in some lobbies that people have put up, both my lobbies and the Beehive lobbies, and he has absolutely dominated everyone. It is unbelievable how quick he is. In my lobbies, I kept putting him starting last, and he managed to win every single race that night. He is an exceptional driver, and I'm excited to see how he holds up against some of the NRL veterans out there.
Okay, so definitely one to watch then as we see Naranjo go back into the pit lane. Now, of course, the drivers are out on circuit with low fuel, so from the get-go, they should be able to absolutely push this car to the limits. I mean, how important is that for the drivers out there to put in them fast times in, Tassie? Because of course, like, what kind of strategy would you go into this qualifying? Is it just about putting in some banker laps, as we see left of pass goes sideways out of the turn there? But yeah, what kind of philosophy would you have going into this qualifying event? Would you just put banker laps in first, or is it just full send from the start to the finish?
You know, I like to have some banker laps in, but I also understand that you often get hotter as the qualifying goes on. One, you know, you're pushing yourself, you're pushing others, you've figured some new things out, right? That theoretically, the longer you drive, the more you learn, and so therefore the better you should get. But I do think it's important to get some banker laps in. It's too nerve-wracking to leave it to the last second to try and get your absolute fastest lap. I think that by midpoint in the qualifier, I would want to have my fastest lap that I think I'm going to do there, and I can use the rest of the qualifier to just push and see if I can get something else. I don't like leaving it to the last moment and needing a Hail Mary.
Okay, well, interesting there. Yeah, so at the moment, left to pass, who had that moment setting the pole position time of split one with a 1 minute 41.3, but had a bit of a hairy moment on the first corner of his next hot lap. So I think he has just gone back into the pits, but we ride on board with Kay Naranjo, aka Oak, or MMR Oak, part of the Moose Mafia racing team. He has got some very good gear there, hasn't he? Fanatec DD Pro, he drives a manual, obviously, and he may well be streaming on YouTube, and if you want to catch him, is at Oak_R3E620 for his POV. But yeah, we're expecting big things from him. I'm sure Moose is expecting a great solid performance from him. He is currently third in this split. I'm not sure what his time is at the moment. It looks like perhaps slightly off the pace at the moment, but we have got 13.
A good one, yeah.
Oh, okay. So just, you know, going with the kind of trying to go in for banker laps, but actually maybe just trying to warm up and, you know, wipe away the cobwebs, so to speak, and then see if it can nail a lap time. Where it looks like he is on a hot lap now as we come through sector 2.
Both he and Mr. Racing picked up penalties on their first attempts at hot laps, and both came in for fresh tires and a little bit of fuel. So these are really their first attempts.
Indeed. And one thing to point out is the drivers are not allowed to reset to the pits. So they do have to drive all the way back around to pit. So we're going to see some abnormal things happening as we see Oak there getting a little sideways. But yeah, drivers are not allowed to reset to the pits. They do need to drive all the way back around.
Well, it's just coming around the final corner now. He was half a second purple through sector 2, and he has gone on to pole position with a 1 minute 40.499, improving his previous best by 8/10 of a second. In fact, he went 8/10 of a second purple, should I say. So put in a very good lap there. We'll see if he can go a little bit quicker as the qualifying goes on. Now, interestingly as well, so yesterday the drivers really set their stalls out where we saw some absolute phenomenal laps from some of the aliens out there. In fact, there was 5 drivers that actually managed to produce 1 minute 39s, with the fastest being from Jorge that set a 1 minute 39.3. So I wonder whether or not the drivers in here will be able to take their A game and try to at least get themselves into them 139s. However, I think the average was in the 1 minute 40s, and the cutoff point was a 1 minute 41.0 to get to book yourself into Division A for this season. But we're riding on board with another brand new driver of SRP, Mr. Racing. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of pace he can provide. I mean, TKs, have you heard of this driver before?
Yes, I've actually raced with Mr. Racing quite a bit recently as well, both in PHG and in my lobbies as well. Solid driver. I wouldn't say he's up there with some of the top people in this league, but he's definitely competitive, and I'm glad to see him out here representing for SRP and doing a great job at it, making his NRL debut.
All right, well, currently at the moment he is 9 tenths down on the fastest time, so that'll be a 1 minute 41.3 for him. But yeah, I mean, certainly getting within the range of a Division A driver. We'll see how the times compare in Saturday to their Friday counterparts. But so far, so good, I think, Tati.
Yeah, not so bad. I mean, we're seeing some pretty average times, and I think some people are still warming up to it. Island Grown, who we're watching right now, has been running the car heavy. He took an out lap, immediately pitted, filled up to half a tank, and has been out. Obviously, he's been back in the pits to get fresh tires and isn't refueling. So maybe his strategy is to simply maximize the sheer amount of laps that he gets. I would expect that he's not going to drop his fastest lap times until later on when that tank does start to run down, as he is running the heaviest car and running last.
Okay. Well, we ride on board with Island Grown now. Island Grown, has been ever present in NRL since season 2. Now, Island Grown, best result so far is in the Division A qualifier, or the league phase, where unfortunately he only picked up 1 point. So we're hoping for bigger and better things, and this is an interesting point actually when it comes to some of the returning drivers. They might have performed well, or maybe not performed as well as they would have liked, but it's interesting to see whether or not through the time that they've been away from NRL is whether or not they've improved as a driver, because we've seen that on many occasions. One particular driver I can remember is Cyrus Nicky, where he I do believe he won the Division B one season, came back as a Division A driver, and not just kind of competed at that level, but actually he was like one of the top drivers. So there have been certain drivers in the NRL that have improved on a season-to-season basis, and it's really great to see Island Grown back in the NRL as he sets a 1 minute 41.658, improves his time by 4 tenths of a second, does remain in P5. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that subject, T-Case?
Yeah, that's something I've talked about, since season 1 is way back in season 1 we started this, and we watched drivers who really struggled at the beginning and just become better racers because of how much time you put in, how competitive this league is. You're gonna become a better driver. It's just how it works. And speaking of Cyrus, I do want to point out he is part of the VIP racing team now. So since last season, he has been able to start up the VIP team, and we got one of his teammates in here left to pass you. So big on him, continuing to improve. We should see him again today doing some racing. So if you want to get better, even if you're not going to be in Division A or at the top, this is a way to get better because the community is so great. Everybody's working hard. Yes, it is competitive, but people are going to work together and share some tidbits here and there, and you're going to get faster. So even if you don't join this league, just any league in general will help you. But I would say the NRL is the best at that. Wouldn't you agree, Claude?
Yeah, I do. And, this is the beauty of the NRL, is that, it's not just one particular class of car that the drivers will drive. It is literally everything you can think of in Gran Turismo 7. So, you really have to become a skilled driver to be consistent with a whole range of different cars, different types of handling, different speeds, obviously. So yeah, it's I think it really does make drivers more all-rounder, like more that's not really a phrase, is it? But you have to become you have to learn a whole range of new skills to perform at the very top in NRL. So yeah, Group 3s, I mean, to be honest, this is quite a rarity. But of course, with McNulty, knowing him, is that the BRZ, certainly one of them cars I don't like personally. And actually, it is a daily race for this week in race B, I believe. And I certainly didn't pick the BRZ. I went for a Lamborghini, so but yeah, certainly, you know, these are challenges that the drivers do have to try to hone and really really try to produce their A game, particularly in qualifying as well. That, you know, for some of the drivers out there, you know, they really want to showcase their skills and really meet the challenge to the very top drivers. Now we've got 5 minutes left of qualifying. Naranjo just coming into the pits, still on pole position, actually has improved his time by a couple of attempts, so he's now set a 1 minute 40.097. But with 5 minutes to go, I mean, can we expect any changes in this final embers of this qualifying, Tati?
I think so. We've got a couple drivers in the pits now, but something weird is happening on with Mr. Racing and Island Grown. I think they're stuck together in the pits somehow. I think it just got resolved. Island got reset. But I think we just saw 2 drivers coming in an attempt to get some fresh tires to go fast one more time. So yes, there can be upsets. We saw lots of upsets last night in the last minutes. Hopefully they can get it together in time. Island, unfortunately, is going to have another long in lap before he can get those tires on.
Yeah, Island trying to create a car park in the pit lane there. Just you shall not pass.
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Racing ate a 2-second penalty because of it, unfortunately. Or it's saddled with one, rather.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully they were able to resolve their issues, and Island Grown was able to get out of that pit lane because yeah, he looks a little bit stuck there. But yeah, we wind up board with Josh Bowman at the moment. Currently P2. He's gone purple through sector 1 with a 30.0. So we'll see if he can carry that momentum on. But he's currently just under 0.6 of a second off of Naranjo. And speaking of which, on the PIP, we have got Oak in the background. Oh, he's on an outlap. Sorry, I thought I was going to come to you, PK, just to see how he was getting on there, but he's on an outlap.
Yes, sir. He just came out of the pits and is actually about to start his flyer. So here he goes around the final 2 turns here to get started. And I do, to go back on what Tati was saying, you know, we did see drivers improving and it coming down to the wire. So definitely think we're going to see some more faster times, as Josh is on a personal best as well. So looking to see some good things happen. 20-minute qualifying is pretty long, giving these drivers plenty of opportunities to improve.
Yes, indeed. Well, he is coming around the final corner. Was he able to carry that momentum? I wonder, as he comes across the line now. He sets a 1 minute 40.524, which is an improvement on his previous best, but still within 0.4 of a second over Oak, who currently has that #1 spot, Tati.
Yes, Oak really close to getting into the 39 club. I think we have 5 drivers already who have done 39s. We know we're expecting a couple more tonight. Obviously, I think Oak is pretty safe for Division A, but you do want those bragging rights to be at the top qualifiers in Division A, right? And so he's going to try to get there. He's going to try to shave off that 97 thousandths of a second to try to get there.
Yeah, us racers, we are never satisfied. We might see the first position, but we're always thinking, well, we could have been a couple of attempts quicker, you know, so I'm not satisfied, you know. Maybe I should have put more practice in. That was certainly the words that Hawko said yesterday. I mean, he said that 1 minute 39.5, and it was like, I need to do more practice, you know. So Yeah, we're never satisfied. But yeah, we still got perhaps enough time for one more lap of this qualifying session. The duration left. Oh, in fact, Naranjo has improved this time. Not quite in the 1 minute 39, but he has got a 1 minute 40 flat tattoo.
Man, so close. So close. He's probably like, where is it? Where are the thousands? Where are the hundreds of a second that I need just to say I've done this? I don't think he has time to do it again. His tires are done. He's going to need fuel. I think he's going to have to be happy with, almost got there. Division A, though.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, unless the other two splits all hit 1 minute 39s, you got to say that maybe he has secured his passage into Division A for this season. But yeah, it looks like left to pass. I think may just have enough time to set this lap, so he's going to have to make this count. Current fastest time is a 1 minute 40.953. Now, judging on what happened yesterday, he is literally in the cusp of making it into Division A. 1 minute 41.0, I do believe, was from Bells. On Friday, he was in 14th position. And then I think it was Sheldologist who was the unlucky one, who was the first to qualify in Division B, a 10th down on Bells. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how close these times are compared to the Friday counterparts. But yeah, left to pass now, going around the final two corners now. So can he improve on his current best? Just coming around the final corner now. It's going to be tight. And he comes across the line and does improve by 1.5 tenths. Yeah, but much better improvement, and that may have secured his passage to Division A, TKs.
Yeah, indeed. That was a great final lap there from left to pass, and we'll see, how the rest of the afternoon shakes out, but it's looking promising for him, and it looks like Mr. Racing is going to be able to finish a lap here and see if he can't improve, maybe getting past left to pass, but unfortunately he is not. He was down a half a second, and Island Grown with a half-second penalty, not looking like he's going to be able to improve either.
Okay, yeah, half a second penalty, unfortunately for him. His fastest was a 1 minute 41.4, so we'll see how that fares in terms of his positioning at the end of the broadcast. But yeah, very fascinating split one pre-qualifier there. Some very good times there, a good benchmark for the other two splits to follow. So yeah, it was pretty competitive, a good showing from the debutees out there as well. And yeah, we look forward to seeing how they get on throughout the season. But yeah, what are your thoughts there, Tati, on this split one qualification?
I think it was solid. We did see a lot of times that should get them into Division A, or at least, solidly Division B times. There obviously are only so many spaces available, so some people unfortunately will just not continue in the season. But in this session, it looks like the majority of drivers are at least going to see competition, and that's what we want to see.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll give you a confirmation on the results now. So it was Naranjo or Oak who did get the fastest time in split one with a 1 minute 40.010, who finished half a second up on BHR Josh Moment, also making his debut as well with a very solid 1 minute 40.524. Then it was a VIP left to pass you with another debutant with a 1 minute 40.792. We'll see whether or not that will be good enough for Division A come the end of the broadcast. Then it was SRP Mr. Racing 40 with a 1 minute 41.137, and then a returning driver of Island Grown 777 with a 1 minute 41.454. Okay. So, we talk about the drivers, trying to qualify for Division A, but also, Division B. Let's not rule out these drivers and this competition because, it can be very competitive also in Division B and can bring some amazing racing. What are your thoughts, T-Case?
Yeah, I think, we have Division A, Division B, and yeah, there is a split, but it's pretty tight margins there between A and B. And the way McNaughty has this league set up with the combos that he's going to throw at these drivers, it's going to be tight, competitive, and great racing. It doesn't matter what division or what day. It's going to be solid. A lot of time and effort has been put into this to give us great combos and allow for these drivers to succeed and do well.
Yes, indeed, and also Tati as well. I mean, so we've seen a few of the debutants today so far, obviously in Split 1. Did they impress you? Do you think that they can bring something new to the table for this season?
Oh, always. It's always great to see new drivers because, I mean, NRL at this point is a staple, and we've got lots and lots of repeat drivers and guys returning who know how each other race and that sort of thing. But you never want to stay stagnant, right? So new blood, new folks who come in and have shown themselves, at least in the qualifying sessions, to be competitive. I'm really looking forward to see how they fit into the mold here.
Yes, indeed. Right, well, that was Split 1, folks. And we've got another 2 splits to go. So we're going to take a brief intermission. So go and get yourself a refreshment. And when we come back, we'll introduce to you Split 2 for our Saturday pre-quali heat. So back in a moment. Welcome back to part 2 of the Saturday pre-quali heats, where this time we will introduce another 7 drivers to the second of our 3 splits tonight. So without further ado, let's give you a quick reminder on the qualifier details for today. So, once again, we are back in Spain at the famous F1 circuit of Catalonia in its Grand Prix layout. Track length is 2.8 miles in length, featuring 13 turns, cutting out the 2 chicanes at the end of the lap. Those participating will be driving the Subaru BRZ GT300 2021 Group 3 car. This 2-litre engine car is turbocharged, producing 478 brake horsepower at 6,700 RPM to its rear wheels in this front-engined rear-wheel drive car, weighing in at just 1,150 kilos. Of course, it is tricky to tame, but rewarding at the same time, and helping them along the way. They'll be able to use the Racing Soft tyre compounds ahead of this 20-minute pre-qualifier. Balance of power will be enabled with just brake balance to be tinkered on the fly, and there will be a ×3 multiplier applied to both tyre wear and fuel usage, with an initial fuel set at 30 litres, and bringing with it the perfect track conditions, as it is going to be glorious sunshine out there. Damage, as per usual, will be set to heavy for this one. So Tati, if you can remind us of the new point scoring system we have in place for the pre-quali session, please.
Absolutely. So for the first time in NRL history, points can be scored during the qualifying session. So the top third of drivers will get 5 points, the middle third will get 3 points, the bottom third will get 0 points towards the season. And for the divisions, the splits are pretty much the same. The top 14 drivers per day will get into Division A. The next 14 drivers will get into Division B.
Okay, thank you, Tati. And TK, if you can tell us the driver lineup for Split 2.
Absolutely. We have Caper, who is a free agent. We have Captain Thunder, who is part of Papa's House of Games. Then we have Mr. Coop, YouTube, free agent. Nuke, part of Sector 7 Racing. Racer DM, part of Super Clean Racing. Rusty Maggots, part of Sector 7, and the Kai, the free agent. And you can also check them out on YouTube, PHG Captain Thunder, Mr. Coop, Sector 7 Racing, and Racer_DM.
Okay, so that is our lineup for Split 2, but more familiar names in this split. So Tati, I mean, what do you think we can expect here? Can we see maybe more kind of faster drivers that can really showcase what Saturday is all about?
I think so, because like you said, we have some familiar names here, some names that we know from racing on Saturday and doing commentary over their races, who can really put the heat down when it's needed. Of course, qualifying is not racing, but I think we're going to see some quick times. I know for sure the Sector 7 guys, those are my teammates. They've been practicing all week. And so I expect good things from them.
Indeed, and yeah, TKs. We sort of mentioned something in the break about drivers where they can maybe work as a team to try and maybe push each other on. Do you see that happening in this quali session, or is it just literally about focusing on yourself and just putting in them lap times?
Maybe we could see that with the Sector 7 guys being teammates out there. If one's on a hot lap and one's on an out lap, maybe being able to help each other out. You definitely can benefit from the slip. It is a very long straight going into turn 1, but these are Group 3 cars. They do use quite a bit of downforce. So like Tati had said earlier, this track is not ideal when it comes to dirty air. and you get to be slipping and sliding around. But you know, the more cars on track, the less space is available. So we'll just have to wait and see. But my money's on everybody tries to give each other a little bit of space here.
Yeah, you could well be right there. Well, we're actually on board with the Kai now. For those not familiar with the Kai, he is British, just like me. So I'll be supporting him. But he has actually featured in the NRL in its entirety. Now, he has actually performed in season 4, where he got into the Division A final and he finished in 4th position. So we do know that the Kai has got pace, and I do know him quite personally as well, and I do know he has improved as a driver, so I'm expecting big things for the Kai. But certainly a driver that I'm not really too aware of, and maybe Tati, maybe you can give us a little bit more insight into this driver, S7R Rusty Maggots, of course, a teammate of yours. What can we expect from him?
Sure, Rusty's a pretty quick driver. Quick study. I've raced against him on track. You know, whether it's his casual races or actually in other leagues. And he's a really, really good competitor. He did have some family stuff going on this week, and so wasn't able to practice nearly as much as the rest of the team, unfortunately. But I know he jumped in this morning for a session, and he put down a time that should get him solidly into Division A. He's just got to repeat it here.
Right, okay, so there's some big words there. We'll see how he gets on, but of course, you know, being part of S7R, I know that you know, you have to be a very good driver to be in that particular team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Rusty Maggots gets on. We have also got his teammate Nuke as well, who I'm sure they'll probably be or have been practicing beforehand. So we'll see what sort of times they can produce, and certainly some of the really fast times we saw from yesterday, particularly with Jorge and Wid, where they managed to hit a 1 minute 39.3. We'll see whether or not they can compete with those drivers. Rusty Maggots comes across the line with a 1 minute 40.5, so a good banker lap for Rusty Maggots. S7R Nuke just following behind, also maybe just warming up them tyres, sets a 1 minute 41.2. The times are coming in thick and fast, and I think most of the drivers probably got the same mindset right now, just warming the tyres, just kind of getting that rhythm together, I think, and maybe we'll see faster times as the session progresses, T-Case.
Yeah, I definitely think we will, as we see Nuke now going purple. But I've been kind of scrolling through the grid here, and a lot of drivers are just revving this car out, burning some fuel on these first couple laps, trying to get everything in the sweet spot. So I definitely think we're going to see these times come falling down.
Okay, well, we did just see the Kai just propel himself up into 2nd position. So the Kai, yeah, setting his stall out early. Nuke in 3rd position at the moment. As mentioned, he is part of the Sector 7 racing team, and yeah, you if you do want to check him out on YouTube, I'm sure he'll be streaming. So if you want his POV, then check him out at Sector_7_ racing on YouTube. But yeah, he's using a Fanatec CSL DD wheel, and of course using a manual transmission as well. Just coming around the final corner now. Can he improve on his 1 minute 41.2? It's looking like that. Yes, he does, with a 1 minute 40.844, 2.5 tenths off of his teammate Rusty Maggots, who currently has the pole position time. We've also got the Kai just coming around the final corner now. What kind of time can he produce, and will that slipstream help him? Oh, and he's the first driver of Saturday to get into the 1 minute 39s with a 1 minute 39.825. So the Kai definitely means business, I think, Tati.
Statement. Very early in the qualifying to throw down your 39. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of what's going to happen here. I don't know if you guys see this. Oh yes, it's on camera now. But there's like this train of three cars running together. We talked about using Slipstream and what Dirty Air is going to do for you. I'm sure some of these drivers may be on an out or in lap maybe and don't care. But it's interesting to see Mr. Coop, Captain Thunder, and the Kai all bunched up in the same spot of the track here.
Yeah, and I think what I can see with. I was just about to say, I think with Mr. Coop, who's making his NRL debut today, now so far he's only produced a 1 minute 45.9. So is it just a case of maybe just sort of how, almost like on an outlap now? I mean, his fuel is quite low. I mean, has he got enough fuel to last him a lap? I do wonder on that one. The Kai is trying to give a little bit of space to Mr. Coop in front. But we do know that the Kai is a serious contender here. So I do wonder whether or not Mr. Coop is going to come into the pits, or whether roles will be reversed. T-Case?
Yeah, I think I've been watching Captain Thunder and Mr. Coop because they were close together, and it looks like, well, Mr. Coop's staying out. I was going to say he's going to go into the pits, but he is staying out. But there we go. Captain Thunder going into the pits there. So they're going to allow themselves a little bit of space. But Mr. Coop with the worn tires and low fuel, this will be his last lap before he has to go into the pits. Unfortunately, not improving much on his time there.
A lot of drivers in the pits right now. I wonder if they all come out together.
Yeah. Could be carnage, I don't know.
And Mr. Coop in P7 just had an incident and spun in, and just made contact with Rusty Maggots. If we can get a replay of that. It was not pretty. You can see he loses the back end into the wall and goes to back up onto the racetrack, and he waits a little bit and then comes right on the racing line as Rusty Maggots comes through and just right into the back of him. So that is unfortunate to see because heavy damage is on. Both drivers will need to go into the pits, and it looked like a penalty there for Rusty Maggots.
Oh, wow. Yeah, very unfortunate indeed. Yes, as you correctly said there, T-Case, heavy damage is on. Hopefully Mr. Cooper can kind of learn from this. I mean, it's all about having a safe entry back onto the circuit from your initial mistake. Very unfortunate that he collected. Which driver was it again? It was
Rusty Maggots.
That's it. Thank you. Luckily though, it is a 20-minute qualifying session. Yeah, it may have ruined the start of Rusty's lap, but still a long way to go. And hopefully hopefully Coop can learn from that mistake and try to focus in on them lap times. Now we are looking on board with PHG Caper. Now Caper is a driver that we have seen before actually in NRL. His best result, in fact his only appearance in NRL was last season, I do believe, and he wasn't able to progress out of the league stage, picking up 12 points. So he'll be hoping for bigger and better things this time around. So far, his best is a 1 minute 41.3. Can he improve? Not quite. 1.5 tenths down on his previous best. So he'll have to go back to the drawing board and hope that he can improve his time statistic.
Yeah, we still got time. We're only halfway through the session here, but I'm sure for some drivers who feel like maybe they haven't settled in, they'll be starting to get nervous. I think Caper had a 41.3 or something like that. So if he can knock 3 tenths and get down into the 40s, he'd probably feel a bit better. Obviously, since his previous competition was in Division A. I'm sure he wants to really solidify his spot there, and I think, what we say, a 41 flat is the cutoff right now. So
roughly. I mean, obviously it is dependent really on everyone's performance. Yeah.
right, of course. But he will want to do better than that if he wants to get in there for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a long way to go, but yeah, you can see from racer DM though. Oh yes, really struggling with the car. I mean, I didn't want to jinx him, but yes, just as soon as you spin up them rear tires, it's very difficult to recover the car. And racer DM, yeah, another victim of the Subaru BRZ, as well as Mr. Coupe from his earlier incident. It's a car I've never really got on with, to be honest. But you know, people like Nakai, Rusty Maggots, even Nuke that we're looking aboard right now, really showing how it's done in this BRZ. As we look on board with a replay of the Kai, was he able to improve? 39.6. Okay, thank you. 1 minute 39.691, so improved by 1300th of a second. Good going there from the Kai. And just looking on my stats, I do believe he's the 4th fastest driver across the Friday and Saturday splits so far, T-Case.
Yeah, indeed. It's very impressive to see these drivers get into the 139s, and you could see he just had such an excellent exit out of the final 2 corners that he was able to carry a 10th faster through the first sector. So he's continuing to improve. I definitely see this lap time coming down. Rusty Maggots is going to have a lot of work cut out for him if he wants to lose a second on his time so that he can take P1 away from the Kai. Wow. As you see there, almost 3/10 up. He is flying. He is absolutely flying.
Yeah, it does look like he's timed it to perfection when it comes to the fuel. He's just got that drop of fuel left, and it's just about carrying that momentum, which he goes a little bit wide and kicks up a few stones.
Oh, man. Oh, he was pushing for that 39.3. I know it.
Yeah, but I had a feeling that once he kicked up the kitty litter there, that reduced the grip on his tires there, and he ran wide and lost it and into the wall. Luckily, near the pit lane where he could just go into the pits, and he'll be able to repair the damage and go again in the last 6.5 minutes that we've got of this qualifying session. But we've got Rusty Maggots just coming across the line now. That is well, you can maybe call that an outlap, because 2 seconds down on his previous best, so he'll be able to go again for at least a final lap before he'll come in to put in more fuel and a change of tires, I think, TKs.
Yeah, and I was actually watching on board with Rusty while we had the Kai on the screen, and they both had issues kind of at the same time. Rusty was a little further back, and he went off into the grass a little bit, so that's why his time was down. He was also pushing hard, trying to catch the Kai, and you can see there clearly not getting the best exit out of the final turn, slowing him down through this first sector. But hopefully he can improve and do a little something to close that gap between him and the Kai.
Right, yes, indeed. Well, 5 minutes to go, so certainly, yeah, Rusty Maggots will come in at the end of this lap, I do believe. There should be enough time to go for a couple of more flyers. But something I didn't actually take into account, actually, guys, is that there was a few drivers, in fact 4 drivers, that did set some laps previous to today's qualifying session. So we do have VIP almost podium that's set at 1 minute 40.558. PHG Lyric with a 1 minute 40.7, and then PHG Arrow 1 minute 41.4, and Ace with a 1 minute 41.2. Just looking at that, it does mean that there's at least 2 drivers within that 1 minute 40 range that we do need to take into account. At the moment though, the Kai certainly the quickest in this split, but Rusty Maggots has done a good job so far, and S7R Nuke, and it just remains to be seen whether or not their efforts is good enough to take them into Division A for the Saturday heats next week. 4.5 minutes left. Nuke has got just under a quarter of a tank, and he's got fresh rubber to boot as well. So can we expect Nuke to pull something out of the bag in this final part of Split 2, Tati?
I mean, maybe. Like I said, it's been happening all over. I do recognize that it's hard, right? As you progress in a qualifying session or any lapping session, period. I find it personally difficult to continue to be nice and smooth and kind to the car, right? You start pushing, you start seeing, okay, well, how much harder can I brake? How much later can I brake? How much harder can I stab the throttle coming out of this slow corner if I get it pointed straight? And this is a car that really rewards smooth driving. I actually really enjoy it because that is more my style. But I do know as you go, it gets harder to do that, you know, because you want to try to maximize everything. And so it takes a special kind of driver to eke out these increases, these like crazy Hail Mary laps at the end of the session.
Yeah, and it's quite an interesting car because, you know, there's, I think it's one of them types of cars that you really need to shift down and shift up in the gears a lot, isn't it? You need to sort of initially get that rotation into the corners, but then you have to be so careful on the traction out of the exits of corners. You know, a little bit too much steering angle or getting on the throttle too early could, as we look on board with Kai. Oh, I thought he might have gone quicker there, but he was 1/10 down on his previous best there, but still a very fast time from Kai nevertheless. But yeah, it's certainly one of them cars you've got to be so careful with all your inputs. And yeah, this is probably why, you know, they're out on circuit and I'm here commentating with Tatty Woman, I think, Tatty.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a momentum car. This car really rewards smooth driving on tracks where you can maintain momentum. There's not a lot of hard braking, not a lot of hard accelerating. You're just in the flow. Tracks like Brands Hatch, right? Whereas this track, Catalunya, has a lot of spaces like that. Like these next few corners right here, I would say are corners where you don't have to worry about hard braking and hard accelerating, and they feel really good in a car where the goal is to maintain momentum. But then you have corners like the hairpin after this straight where it is hard braking, it is accelerating out of a very slow turn, and that's not where this car shines. Brakes are, it's dangerous. Braking, it's dangerous. Accelerating, it really just wants the flow. It's a freaking Miata with like 3 times the horsepower.
Well, I mean, Kai is certainly showing how it's done. He's gone purple through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Can he be a little bit smoother out of the penultimate corner? Looks like he is. Looks like he may be on the money here as we go around the last corner. What kind of time can he set? Can he improve? No, he can't. He lost the time there by 1.5 tenths, unfortunately. PhD Caper, can he improve on his previous best? No, he can't. Remains in P4. Rusty Maggots also coming across the line, but 6 tenths down on his previous best. So it's going to be the last lap shootout. What can we expect from this one, TKs?
I mean, these drivers are going to be pushing it, giving it their all. The question is, did they push too hard on that last lap and not get the improvement and then end up damaging their tires too much? As speaking of damage, we can see Mr. Coop has very worn tires and front and rear bumper damage, so I don't see them improving any moment. But I did see that S7R Nuke is up on his best time, so we might see an improvement from him. And I did want to point out to everybody who's watching, if you go to mcnaughty.gg, you can see all the timing from yesterday and today. It's getting updated after each session. So if you missed the first split and you're curious what times they got, go to mcnaughty.gg, go into the NRL section, and you can actually see all the times posted so far today.
Yes, indeed. But remember, we're on Split 2. There is another split to come, so it's not over on Saturday. But yes, certainly Jorge's lap is still holding with as well. But Kai, it's been a valiant effort from him. I did see him pull to the side, so his qualifying session is done. But is it done for Nuke, though, as he comes around the final corner now? Can he improve on his previous best? Yes, he can, but he will remain in P3. He goes 400th quicker than his previous best. And then we've got Rusty Maggots coming around the final corner now, and unfortunately lost time there. He remains in P2 with his 1 minute 40, was it 1 minute 40.2, I do believe.
Oh, penalties for the last three.
Yes. Yeah. So
yeah,
That's coming from the back.
Yep, so I think that is qualifying done for split 2. But congratulations to Kai with a absolute stonking lap there. Captain Thunder, who is 3.3 seconds down, so not having the best of times for him. I think it's a 1 minute 42.9 for him. Mr. Coupe with that damage on board there. His fastest was a 1 minute 45.9, so really had a bit of a nightmare time using that car. We'll see where he fares at the end of the broadcast, but again, to my boy the Kai, you know, the sole British driver, doing it in style.
Way to go, Kai.
But yeah, fantastic split 2 we've just witnessed here, and yeah, certainly really pushed the car to the limits. Before I come to the thoughts of both of you, let me just give you the confirmation of the times from split 2. So KD the Kai got pole position with his 1 minute 39.691, and certainly you know, is a phenomenal showing from the Kai there, and quite a bit quicker than Rusty Maggots in the end. And in fact, I've been corrected there. His time was a 1 minute 40.592 with his teammate Nuke with a 1 minute 40.799. Then it was PHG Caper with a 1 minute 41.351, just 400ths separating him to Racer DM with a 1 minute 41.394. Then it was PHG Captain Thunder, as we mentioned, had a bit of a nightmare time out there. We're assessing a 1 minute 43.008, and Mr. Coupe as well, driving around with damage to his car, sets a 1 minute 45.916. So those are the times for split 2. We'll see where they're how they fare, towards the end of the broadcast. But in general, TKs, what are your thoughts on split 2?
Very, very exciting stuff. It was good to see a driver get into the 39s, first 39 of the day. Looking really good. The Sector 7 guys looking solid out there. Got to see quite a variety of pace. So good to see. And because those first 2 splits were as small as they were, I think we're going to have quite a hefty split 3 coming up.
Yeah, I think so too. And Tassie, what are your thoughts on split 2? Was there any surprises you saw there?
Yeah, I mean, just how spread out the field was as far as pace goes. But of course, these people aren't put together by any sort of pacing or anything like that. It's just, timing and luck of the draw. So I guess we couldn't have expected them to be that close. The Kai's 39 being so deep into the 39s was surprising. It's good to see someone set a benchmark here for the Saturday folks.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he certainly did me proud, the Kai, and yeah, it's shaping up to be a really great Saturday for next week. That is for sure. But yeah, that is 2 splits down, 2 splits that we are down tonight with 1 to go. So with that said, we are going to head for another intermission break. So go for a stretch and top up that beverage. And when we come back, we will introduce to you our final split for today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to part 3 of the Saturday pre-quali show, where we have the final 14 drivers competing in their qualification into the next round in our final split for today. So without further ado, let's take a look at what drivers are competing in this one. But firstly, TCase, if you can remind us one last time the qualifying settings for Saturday pre-qualifying split 3.
Absolutely. If y'all missed the first 2 splits, we are in Spain, the F1 Circuit Catalunya Grand Prix layout. Track length is 2.8 miles in length, featuring 13 turns, cutting out the 2 chicanes at the end of the lap. Those participating will be driving in the Subaru BRZ GT300 2021 Group 3 car. 2-liter engine, turbocharged, producing 478 horsepower at 6,700 RPMs, rear-wheel drive, front engine, and weighing just in at 1150 kilograms. It's a tricky car to tame, but very rewarding when you're able to put it together. The time limit of this is 20 minutes. We have 3 times tire wear, 3 times fuel. Initial fuel is only 30 liters. It is a beautiful Sunday late morning, and the BOP is turned on. Brake balance is allowed, and something we saw in the last split, heavy damage is on. The available tires are the racing softs, and they are the required tires. So we'll see what happens here when these drivers get on track.
Thank you, TK. And Tassie, if you can give us a final reminder on how the point system works and this and the drivers involved in split 3, please.
Sure thing. So for the first time ever in NRL, you can earn points in qualifying. The top third of the drivers will earn 5 points. The middle third will get 3 points, and the bottom third will get 0 points. That is per day. So Friday and Saturday both have their own set of points. The top 14 drivers in either day will make it into Division A, and the next 14 will be Division B. Anyone below that, unfortunately, will not make it into the past the qualifying.
And also, okay, and the driver lineup for split 3, then we've got Angry Fredbird, we've got Banana, we've got BHR J-Dog, we've got BHR Johnny Boy, we got The Crawler, Digital Relay, FAF Bobagido, FAF Wade, Filmora, Old Man Pip, Polias Pangolin, Roots, RTS Bandit, and VIP Cyrus Nicky. Please make sure to check out their streaming profiles that are to the right of their names, as I'm sure they'll be streaming from their POV, making sure you keep a tab open for us in the NRL so you don't miss any of the racing action. Okay, so the final split for this afternoon, we saw in the last split that some of the drivers really took their A game on track, but now we've got 14 drivers on the circuit, a completely different dynamic. What can we expect from this split, do you think, Tati?
I think drivers are gonna have to qualify here way differently than the drivers in the other splits, with 14 drivers on track and a track that's not only not that huge, but people are going to be constantly pitting and changing up their actual track position. I think it's going to get crowded. You're going to have a lot of people going at very different paces, trying to occupy the same spots of track at the same time. Best bet is to maybe see if you can make yourself some space in your best laps, what you think are going to be your best laps, and make it count. Or maybe find a partner, a slipstream partner who's on the same kind of wave as you and the same pit schedule, but that's easier said than done.
Yes, indeed. A few things to throw up there for sure, Tati, and also TK. So obviously, a few names that I don't recognise, to be honest. One is the Crawler, actually, who comes out on track first. And in fact, I just see RTS Bandit in front of him has just picked up a penalty, I do believe. But have you seen the Crawler at all? I mean, of course, he is making his NRL debut. Any thoughts towards this debutant, TKs?
Absolutely, yeah. I expect him to be up there at the top, potentially the fastest driver of the day. I am not a good enough racer to get into races with him in race B and C. We are definitely different caliber, but when it comes to race A, that's where I shine, and he's in there quite a bit. So I've gotten to race against the Crawler in a race A scenario, so definitely not these Group 3 machinery, but I expect him to be very fast today and maybe put down the fastest time.
Okay, well, if you do want to check out the Crawler on YouTube, do follow his socials. It's _Crawler on YouTube. Check out his POV and see if he can get the fastest time overall in Saturday. A lot of high hopes on his shoulders, I bet. I mean, as you said, Tati, it's definitely going to be interesting. A much more populated grid here. It's just going to be interesting to see if they give each other space or whether or not they're going to be bumper to bumper. Particularly because they're going to get that extra, miles per hour down the straight, but then of course they're going to have that less aero into the corners. We'll see how they get on. It looks like Bandit though has thought, you know what, I want clean air. I don't want to be put off in my laps. RTS Bandit, of course, an ever-present driver who grabbed his first race victory last season in the Division B. As he runs wide out of turn number 4. And oh god, he's going to have to start again. Maybe try and get out of the way of drivers that are on their hot laps right now. Banana able to safely negotiate his way through, although he goes a bit wiggly in the background. Let's have a look on the replay and see how close it was that Banana was from hitting Bandit as he came back on the track and actually safely negotiated his way through. But then I did see him go a little bit wiggly on the exit there. That could have maybe ruined his lap there, although he hasn't picked up damage or anything, so he may have saved the car there, but perhaps ruined his lap time there, TKs.
Yeah, indeed. It's a bit tricky out there. A lot of drivers on track, and it's starting to show. One mistake not only ruins your lap, but can really ruin the other drivers around you.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Banana is a returning driver himself. And we'll see what time he get there. He went a little bit wide out of the last turn there. Moves up into P2 with a 1 minute 40.7, I do believe. The Crawler goes on to pole position though with a flyer, a 1 minute 40.2. A good banker lap to start off this qualifying session. We ride on board with Felmora at the moment, currently P5. He's just set at 1 minute 41.197. Now for Mora, just looking at my notes here, so for Mora, best result so far in the NRL is Division A league phase in season 4 where he grabbed 17 points, but his last result was in Division A where he only picks up 1 point, so he'll be looking for better things as he goes a little bit wiggly out of turn number 4. So that would have been a scary moment for him. He is currently a free agent, that surprises me, and he uses a Fanatec DD Pro wheel, but yeah, we'll see whether or not he's improved through season to season. But yeah, currently maybe on the cusp of qualifying for Division A, but plenty of time to go in this qualifying session. We've still got 15 minutes left, so still a long time to start improving your lap times. But at the moment, just looking at the timing boards, we have got the crawler on pole position, as mentioned, with that 1 minute 40.271. Then we've got VIP Cyrus Nicky in second position, with FAF Bobba Gido, which I've just been told a lot of the drivers from Cornbread are now in the FAF team, not to confuse us or anything like that. And then we've got Wade. Now Wade is making his NRL debut. Now I know nothing about Wade actually, but someone that I think might know is maybe you, T-Case.
Yeah, Wade participated in the PHG World Series that we did right before NRL, and he had some really solid showings out there. It was a Group 3 and Group 4 series, so he definitely did well in the Group 3, and they are now part of Full Acceleration Force. That is what the FAF stands for on the Fanatec DD Pro, using the manual transmission. So I expect to see some good stuff out of Wade, as well as his teammate who has been in the NRL before, Bobagito, currently sitting in P3.
Okay, yeah, definitely one to look out for. And I was actually just looking at the comments in chat, so welcome to everyone that's in the chat, and thank you so much for supporting the NRL. But Oak was saying that Bobba and Wade are using a VR headset, so it's always a conversation up for debate, isn't it, about drivers that use VR, because we know that they have limited UI in their headset. But yeah, you know, I've always, well, for me, VR makes me sick. So I don't know how it is for the drivers out there. I mean, Tati, have you ever used VR in your lifetime?
Not for this game. I do have I do have the Meta VR or whatever's, and it does kind of make me sick depending on the game I'm playing. But I've not done GT7. I would love to. I want to try it.
It's pretty epic. I got the chance to try it. It's a lot of fun, but personally, it's not something I'm interested in actually doing, especially since I like to do streaming. It just kind of changes things up as far as the interacting with the viewers and stuff. But very, very cool piece of equipment if you got the money to spend on it.
Indeed. Yeah, but yeah, we're on board with BHR J-Dog, another one of them drivers that are making their debut in the NRL. So currently, fastest lap time is a 1 minute 41.2, I do believe. The graphic mess. No, it might be. In fact, it is 1 minute 41.4. So apparently I can't do maths, but he is currently holding 7th position. But yeah, he's part of the Beehive racing team. Interestingly, he uses a DualSense controller. Now, I'm not saying that controller users are not fast, because some of the fastest drivers in the world do actually use a DualSense controller. But another one of them drivers I'm not too familiar with. What are your thoughts on him, TKs?
Solid driver. You know, the BHR crew, they're a bunch of fun guys. They're out there to have fun more than anything. Yeah, they want to be competitive, but it's good to see them out there. And like you're saying, with the controller, you know, all the wheel does, all the VR does, really, it makes it more immersive. It makes it more realistic. Doesn't necessarily guarantee you're going to be quicker. You can have the nicest stuff out there and still get whooped by somebody on a pad. So it's fun to see that this league, you know, allows everybody, you know, you don't have to have the nicest kit. You can show up with your PlayStation and a controller in the game and compete and be competitive. And I really like to see that in this very fun game that we all love to play.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I was going to say as well, and my question to you, Tati, is that with the kind of the nature of this car, where it can get out of control very quickly, can that be to your advantage if you are on the controller?
it's funny you asked because I literally was just thinking that in my head. Yes, and these are some of the things I miss about being a controller racer. It's been years, but it certainly was easier to catch slides. We've noticed a lot of drivers having some on power oversteer out of this car, which I'm gonna whisper. I wish you guys weren't afraid of just turning on TCS. You don't have to be a purist about it. You're gonna be faster in this car with TCS on, but I would just leave that at that. Anyway, the controller, everything's a bit everything happens a bit, I would say, slower, quote unquote. It's not actually happening slower, but you get more lock in the steering with less movement, because obviously a joystick cannot move as much as a steering wheel can, right? And
Yeah.
so it's easier to be smooth with a catch. It's harder to overcorrect with a controller, whereas with a steering wheel, you panic, you toss it in the opposite direction, and then the car grips up, and now you've slapped yourself into a spin. um
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I think there's a slight advantage there if you are a good controller driver, which I think he is.
Right. Well, I mean, we've seen a few drivers now repping the controller. Then Old Man Pip being one of them. Old Man Pip made his debut last season in season 5. He managed to get into the Division B final and produced a 11th position. But I do remember some of his races. He got involved in some epic battles in the lead up to the final, and yeah, that was all done in the comfort of his palm, isn't it? So yeah, phenomenal skills from Old Man Pip, and yeah, he'll be looking. Well, we'll see if he has improved since last season, because he was in Division B. Can he make it into Division A? Well, so far it will suggest that he does need to improve his lap times, because the best time he's produced is a 1 minute 41.7. But as we mentioned earlier, TK, it's great to get into Division A, but certainly there's some very, very competitive drivers in Division B.
Indeed, the cutoff is so tight. There's going to be the top of Division B is going to be, within tenths, maybe even hundredths of those drivers in Division A. And I do see, speaking of top drivers, DeCrawler getting into the 139s with the 139.915. Very impressive. But yeah, the cutoff's going to be very tight. So the Division B is going to be super competitive. There's going to be some people in there that are definitely fast enough to be in Division A, and it could just be that this is not their combo, right? It's a challenging Group 3 car on a challenging track. They might do better in a different combo to what's coming up. So we might see some of these drivers who struggled here in pre-qualifying really shine once the races come together and different combos get thrown their way.
Yes, indeed. Well, we still have 7 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. As you mentioned, TK, that the crawler has gone quicker, and as he's the 7th driver across Friday and Saturday to get into the 1 minute 39s. I do believe that is the 6th fastest time between the 2 days. So good going there from the crawler, and we did have this feeling that the crawler, making his debut today, that he had something to prove, and certainly going about it the right way. As we look on board with BHR Johnny Boy, who wasn't able to improve, currently P13, fastest time of a 1 minute 42.093, so we'll be looking to improve from there. Then we got Angry Fredbird, of course, brother of the legend Slow-Mo, currently in P14, fastest time is a 1 minute 42.294, with a fast approaching the crawler just behind him. So I do wonder whether or not he does move to the side, or does he it looks like maybe because he has really closed in to the back of Angry Fredbird. This is where it gets a little bit awkward, because Angry Fredbird is on a flyer right now, but yes, I think he may well have to. But yeah, if you do want to check out Angry Fredbird, he is also on YouTube, so go and check him out at Angry Fredbird on YouTube. He's got all the great equipment there with the Fanatec DD Pro, part of the Left Lane Racing team as well. So we'll see whether or not Angry Fredbird can improve in the last 5 or so minutes remaining. And as we said, 1 minute 42.2 was his fastest. He's not going to improve, unfortunately. And it looks like the crawler thinks, okay, let's top up the fuel and put on a fresh pair of boots. Same with Bobajido as well, currently in second position. The time still coming in. Felmora went a little bit quicker to remain in 7th position. And then we ride aboard with Root, who's on an outlap now with fresh tyres. Current fastest is 1 minute 41.450. So we'll see if he can improve in due course. But at the moment, just kind of settling in, it does look like quite a lot of the drivers are kind of giving each other space. But Tassie, I mean, obviously, what you can see out there, what are your thoughts of qualifying so far?
Well, this session was pretty fast right out the gate, bunch of 140s right out the gate. But I feel like we're not seeing improvements right now, and I'm not sure if we're gonna see any last minute ones. I mean, maybe, like I said, it can happen. It's been happening, but it takes something special, right? We saw Jorge really buckle down and last night rather, and get smooth and put down a crazy lap that I don't think has been topped yet, if I'm not mistaken. And we've seen a couple other drivers be able to do it at the last minute, but for the most part, we've seen drivers missing the mark, getting red lap after red lap after red lap as the session progresses. Drivers are going to have to slow down and find that zen and get real smooth in this car if they want to put down that crazy lap.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we are still on board with Root, and I did see that he's gone blue, so he's gone a bit quicker through Sector 1 and Sector 2. So, he goes a little bit sideways out of the exit of turn number 11. And as he comes through the final corner now, is that going to cost him? He maximizes the track width, and he does go quicker by 0.14 of a second to remain in P8, but with a 1 minute. I didn't see what time he got there, to be honest. It was a 41 something, I do believe, 41.4 it might have been. But yes, improvement nevertheless. We've got 2.5 minutes left of this qualifying session. BHR J-Dog doing a great job so far. 7 tenths down on pole sitter De Crawler with a 1 minute 40.6. So he's certainly doing really well at the moment. It would suggest that he will qualify for Division A next week. Goes a little bit wide. Is that going to be a penalty? Apparently not. Apparently not. So wasn't able to improve. He did lose time on that final turn and will remain fifth fastest with a 1 minute 40.6. We've got probably just about enough time for the drivers to get in one more lap time, depending on where they are on the circuit. But right now we have got the Crawler, Bobajido and Cyrus Nicky operating the top 3 spots. It looks like J-Dog is slowing down, maybe. In fact, I don't think he's going to have enough fuel, is he? Just looking at the graphic there. So Bobajido comes around the final turn. I don't think he's improved either. Yet 8 tenths down on his previous best. Banana, though, moving up into second position.
And moment in the background.
Okay. And yeah, Banana, so if we look on the replay, there was something that happened in the background, I do believe. This is RTS Bandit. Came around the final corner and he just completely misses the track and into the kitty litter. And that is very unfortunate for Bandit, TKs.
Indeed. Seems like can't catch a break out there. Making little mistakes here and there, just really ruining the lap time as Banana gets out of the way of Bobajido. Bobajido on a hot lap right now, coming around, looking like this will be his final lap here with only 30 seconds remaining of this qualifying session.
Yeah, and the crawler actually improving on his lap time. So he's now set a 1 minute 39.798. So I did see something in chat there. Is it 5th fastest overall? So yeah, the crawler really setting his stall out and really showing the rest of the Saturday drivers that he is a force to be reckoned with. Boba Gido currently P4. Cyrus Nicky has just improved and moved up into second position. I think it was a 1 minute 40.4, I do believe.
Yeah, so 40.466.
Right, okay, thank you, TKs. As Bobby Gido comes around the final corner, can he improve? Yes, he can. Up into second position with a 1 minute 40.377. So saves the best to last. PHG Banana isn't going to improve, but will remain in fourth position with his 1 minute 40.5. FAF Wade not able to improve either. Current fastest was a 1 minute 40.559. J-Dog has been moved down into sixth position with his 1 minute 40.6. He's not going to have enough time to complete a hot lap there. So it looks like qualifying is over for split 3. Lights Pango, of course, Division B champion, 9th fastest with a 1 minute 41.5. It's going to be touch and go whether or not that's good enough to qualify for Division A. Johnny Boy about to come across the line now, does improve by 400th of a second to grab a 1 minute 42.0 and remain in 13th position. And I just looking on the mini map, I just see an arrow just spinning round and round and round. So I'm guessing they've been doing that now. But yeah, that looks like split 3 qualifying is over. And Tati, it'd be interesting to know what your thoughts.
Some excitement at the end, right? Some guys did exactly what we talked about, finding that zen and put together a faster lap. I think 2nd through 5th or something like that all essentially had the same time, so it really was just in the finer margins. No huge gains, but it still matters, right? When everything is so close, you want to be 2nd versus 5th, even if you have the same time.
Yeah, I do agree on that one. Well, it was great to see some flying laps. It was great to see the crawler for the first time to set that 1 minute 39.7 lap time. So definitely a man to watch throughout the Saturday heats of the NRL Season 6, with your normal favourites of Bobagido and Cyrus Nicky as well, who were both very competitive as well, and I'm pretty sure they would have secured their passage to Division A for Saturday. But we're going to do a roundup of all the qualifying times from Split 3 in a moment's time. So we're just awaiting the last drivers to come across the line, really looking forward to seeing how this is rounded up today and see where people are qualified and this, that, and the other. So just a confirmation of the split 3 times. So the crawler with a blistering 1 minute 39.798, separating himself from the rest, with FAF Bobagido coming in second with a 1 minute 40.377. Then it was VIP Cyrus Nicky with a 1 minute 40.466, just 3,000th quicker than PHG Banana, who grabbed a 1 minute 40.469. Then it was FAF Wade making his debut. He set a 1 minute 40.559. Then it was BHR J-Dog also making his NRL debut, setting a 1 minute 40.631. Then it was Famora with a 1 minute 40.734 in P7. Roots grabbed P8 with a 1 minute 41.261. Then it was Division B Season 5 champion BHR Pelias Pango, who sets a 1 minute 41.570, with RTS Bandit just 200th separating him to Pango in P10 with a 1 minute 41.598. Then it was Old Man Pip with a 1 minute 41.764, with Digital Relay with a 1 minute 41.800. P13 went to BHR Johnny Boy with a 1 minute 42.047. And then last but not least, Angry Fredbird with a 1 minute 42.294. Okay, so that was a split 3, and that is qualifying done for Saturday. So TK's coming to you then. So a broad range of times, and I think a few surprises to say the least. What are your thoughts on the pre-quali for split 3?
Yeah, great to see another driver get into the 139s, only a 10th off of the Kai. So big shout out to DeCrawler for putting down that time. But I like how tight it is. Super close between Cyrus, Nikki, and Banana. I mean, what is that? 3 1,000ths. Pretty incredible how close they were to each other. I think the cutoff's going to be really, really tight between Division A and Division B with all these drivers in the 140s. So really great to see everybody coming out here and competing. Glad we got to see some more good driving today.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of the crawler, because he definitely separated himself to the rest in split 3, Tati. So do you think that the crawler, could be a household name for weeks to come, maybe even towards the back end of the competition, may be able to take the fight to the likes of Wid and Hawko and people like that?
From what I'm hearing, maybe, right? I think it's going to be really tight. It gets tighter every season. It'll be nice to have, 3 or even 4-way battle for that top spot every round. I think those guys are really close in the 39s. If it translates to racing, I think it's going to happen.
Okay. Well, we definitely look forward to seeing what happens for the rest of the competition. But yeah, as I mentioned, though, race fans, we are going for a final break of the day. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out there. While production locks in the numbers. So grab yourself a drink, take a breath, and if you're one of our drivers, now it's the time to sweat it out. So when we return, it's decision time. 14 drivers will punch their tickets to Division A and B respectfully. 3 will see their season end here. And we'll unveil the Saturday round 1 races. So totally different, of course, from the Friday grid. So don't go anywhere. The big reveal is coming next. Welcome back, everyone, to the final part of this broadcast. Before we get into all what is important to us, finding where the drivers are all positioned, we need to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsors for Season 6. A huge thank you to DGDR Dumb Guys Do Racing, Henke's Tavern, Little J CPA, Lithograph Comics, and Mist Chronicles for all their support throughout Season 6 of the NRL. Okay, I'm sure the tension is at an all-time high. Shall we reveal the standings for this season? Tati, if you can reveal our top 14 drivers, please.
Oh, let's do it. Come on, appear on screen. There we go. We have the Kai in first with a 139.691. Welcome to the 39 Club. The Kai. The Crawler in second with a 139.798. K Naranjo, Oak, with a 140.010. We have FAF Bobachito in fourth with a 140.377. And VIP Cyber Stinky GT with a 140.466. Banana in sixth with a 140.469. BHR Josh Moment is in seventh place with a 140.524. In eighth, we have VIP Almost Podium with a 140.558. Then in ninth, FAF Wave with a 140.559. Rusty Maggots will be in 10th place with a 140.592. BHR J-Dog in 11th with a 140.631. Lyric will be in 12th with a 140.724. Belmora in 13th with a 140.734. Then 14th, we've got VIP Left to Pass You with a 140.792. The top 10 of those drivers, of course, getting 5 entire points for the season, and the last 4 with 3 points.
Excellent stuff. So they'll be qualified into Division A for Saturday. TKs, please reveal to us the next 14 drivers qualifying for Division B, please.
Yes, indeed. But before I do that, big shout out to Jorge Sr. with the $39.31 donation. That goes to the prize pool for the drivers and the production crew, everybody here. So big thanks to Jorge for the $39.31. An interesting number. Oh, wait. No, that's a time. Excellent, excellent. So for Division B, we have Nuke with a 140.799. He'll be getting 3 points. SRP MMR Racing with a 141.137. VIP Ace GT with a 141.229. Root with a 141.261. And we have Caper with a 141.351. And the last driver to get points here, Racer DM with a 141.394. Then we have Island Grown 777 with a 141.454. Followed by Arrow with a 141.477. Elias Pango with a 141.570. RTS Bandit making the cut with a 141.598. Old Man Pip with a 141.764. Followed by Digital Relay with a 141.800. And we have BHR Johnny Boy with a 142.047. Followed by Angry Fredbird just making the cut with a 142.294. Now, unfortunately, that means 3 drivers did not make it, one of whom was not able to participate. We have Captain Thunder with a 143.008, oh so close. Mr. Coupe with a 145.916, and then Jay Sr., who was not able to make it. But big thanks to these guys. Mr. Coupe making your NRL debut. Thank you for coming out and trying for us today.
Interesting stuff, yes. Unfortunate for the 3 drivers that wasn't able to qualify for the league phase. But congratulations to everyone getting into Division A and into Division B. However, right now, maybe the part that everyone has been looking forward to. What is in store for the Saturday drivers in our season opening race? Firstly, let's take a look at round 1 in Saturday Division B. Okay, so interesting combo. Okay, so we are racing around the BB Raceway Oval, and they're going to be driving the RAV4 Adventure 2020 car. Now, qualifying will be set to 5 minutes with the tyre wear, fuel, and the fuel burn and the initial fuel set same as race, because the race is going to be 58 laps with tyre wear at times 8, fuel consumption rate at times 4, refueling rate at 5 litres a second, with the usual damage set to heavy. Now, of course, it's going to be a grid start with full start check, and balancer power is enabled, but interestingly, the drivers will need to use the sports tires. So the available tires are the sports softs and the sports hards, but the sports hards are required. Now, Tati, I heard you kind of sitting there in awe. What are your thoughts in this combo for Division B?
Dude, I love BB Raceway, okay? It's crazy, it's stupid, it makes no sense, but it's so fun to race at. So street cars on street tires that really aren't meant to be on a racing course, really. I expect a lot of movement. I expect, though, that these drivers will try their absolute best to practice to eke out every single thousandth of a second they can. It's a very short track. Time matters around here. You'll be surprised at how seriously these drivers take this in order to win it.
And TK, I mean, is this right up your alley?
This is. I want to race this one. I might be. Well, I know for sure I'm going to be in some practice lobbies. So, in my experience with road cars, you know, the sports softs are going to make this car a little unpredictable under braking. It does something weird with the suspension. I think it's going to be comfortable to drive on the sports hards. Might be quicker on the sports softs, but it is going to be tricky, especially with that final turn, that heavy right-hander. This car is going to have a ton of body roll and a lack of grip. So it should be interesting. And I love that this car is being used because, you know, we watch all the videos and a car like this gets added to the game and they're like, who would ever use this? Who would? Well, we're using it now, NRL, and it's going to be awesome.
That's who, yeah.
Yeah.
And just responding to chat as well, Shawnzy said, can we get to adjust the BB? I don't believe so. So in the road cars.
Correct. That's an addition that you'd have to put on the car to be able to adjust the brake balance.
So those are our thoughts of the Division B race for Saturday. But what is in store for Division A? And we are at the Lego Maggiore then for this Saturday, round 1 in the Saturday heats. It is the full reverse layout with a 10-minute qualifier ahead of a 16-lap race using the Group 3 GTR Nismo GT3, the older version, the 2013 car. Now, it's going to be a grid start with a full start check. Balancer power will be enabled. There will be brake balance, obviously, for this one, but the tyre wear is set to ×3. The fuel consumption rate is ×3. Refueling rate is 3 litres a second. And, of course, damage will be set to heavy. Now, the tyres at their disposal will be the racing softs and the racing mediums, with none of the tyres required. So that means strategy will be up in the air for the drivers. But Tati, what are your thoughts on this combination?
I mean, this is solid. It's been a few years, but as I recall, Lego Maggiore reverse is actually pretty good and flows pretty well. Should make for some decent racing. It certainly does in the forward layout. The Nismo has been around forever at this point. This car is over a decade old, which is crazy to think about, but is a staple and definitely had its moments when the BOP favored it. I think it's going to be a good race.
And yeah, TKs, what are your thoughts on this layout, especially because it's the reverse version?
Yeah, it is the reverse. You still got the big banky boy, but not quite as big of a run up to it. More focused on the exit. It's going to be great. We got these top caliber drivers in a very fast, very quick, nimble car in the GTR. So it'll be interesting to see this. This track does punish you if you push it too hard, because you got grass and gravel all over the place, plus a few walls and some sausage curbs. So it'll be some good tight driving, and I'm looking to see really what strategy plays out here, because there's no tire requirement. We got the racing softs and mediums, so these drivers are going to be putting in a lot of practice figuring out what the best strategy is going to be for them.
Yeah, indeed. It's certainly going to be a fast-flowing race, and I can't wait for that one. But yeah, coming up next week, we have the start of the league phase. Firstly, the Friday heats on Friday, the 3rd of October at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, isn't it? Hosted by the wonderful Toon, Slow-Mo, and Hovercraft, or maybe Leo, I'm not sure yet. But make sure you pencil that in your diaries for that one, because it's not to be missed. And obviously following on from that, you'll be able to join us on the Saturday heats for myself, Floor Genius Gaming, T-Case and Tatty on Saturday the 4th of October at 1 p.m. Eastern time for our first round of the Saturday heat. So make sure, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing, and please hit the like button to help spread our content across the whole of YouTube. We fully appreciate you all. So, okay, so it's been a fantastic opening to NRL Season 6. We got to see quite a few surprises in the times today. Now that the Division A and the Division B lineup has been sorted out, what are your final thoughts on everything that happened today, TKs?
Final thoughts. I mean, no disrespect to the drivers or to diminish anything, but I was hoping for a few more 139s out there. We did get to see Oak almost skid it, or K Naranjo. But overall, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. That final split was a little chaotic with how many drivers were on track, but we got to see some good stuff, some outstanding drivers on track, and a lot of new to the NRL drivers. So I'm excited to see what that looks like going forward.
And Betsy, so you obviously, we, just like myself, we got to see some new drivers. We got our returning favorites that came back. Do you think a lot of the new drivers that came in, do you think they can really upset the apple cart and really turn season six on its head?
I hope so, because I like the chaos.
Okay, that's a good answer. That is a good answer. And of course, 3 grueling rounds for the drivers to go through. So anything can happen, and normally it does. So yeah, certainly really interesting combos that we've got for round 1, and very different combos as well too for both divisions. So yeah, definitely tune in next week for that one. And thank you to all the support we've had today in chat, as well as the donations that have come in as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. But yeah, that is completely wrapped up. And I'm sure round 1 practice is probably well underway as we speak. But it's been a fantastic opener today, and we hope to see you next week, which I'm sure will be as engrossing as ever. So until then, it's a goodbye from T-Case.
Later, y'all.
And it's a goodbye from Tatty.
Bye, everyone.
And it's a goodbye from me. Stay safe. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.